There comes a time in life when we must understand that forcing things, whether it's love, success, healing, or answers, only creates resistance. The more we push, the more we block the flow. But when we relax, breathe, and allow things to unfold, we invite grace, alignment, and divine timing to guide us. Today, let's take a deep breath and let go of the urge to control. Let us open the door to peaceful receiving instead of stressful chasing. Forcing comes from fear. It's a subtle, anxious energy that tells us we're not safe unless we're in control. It's that feeling in your chest when you try to make something happen before it's ready. It's the unease that creeps in when silence stretches too long and you worry that if you don't act, everything will fall apart. But that feeling, though loud, is not truth. It's fear disguised as urgency. We often force things when we don't trust ourselves or the timing of our lives. We fear that if we don't push the relationship, the person might walk away. If we don't constantly hustle, success will slip through our fingers. If we don't heal fast enough, we're somehow failing at life. This kind of fear whispers, you're behind, you're not enough, you're losing time, and so we try to control everything. But forcing is unnatural. Just like pulling a flower open won't make it bloom faster. It only damages the petals. The same happens when we try to control the people, situations, and outcomes in our lives. We end up pushing away the very things we want to attract. You may not even realize you're doing it. It can show up as overthinking, over-explaining, chasing someone who is distant, constantly checking if your efforts are working. You might find yourself waking up with tension in your shoulders, a racing mind, and a heart heavy with the weight of needing everything to work out perfectly. But underneath all of that is fear. Fear of being left, fear of failure, fear of not being loved, not being chosen, not being seen. Here's the truth. Anything that's truly meant for you does not need to be forced. It may require patience, faith, and preparation, but never pressure. When something is right, it flows. It may challenge you, but it won't deplete you. It won't require you to abandon yourself to have it. Forcing often comes from a deep wound that tells you you're not worthy unless you're constantly proving yourself. But you were never meant to prove anything. You were meant to live, to trust, to grow, and to allow. You don't need to twist yourself to fit into spaces that don't see you. You don't need to cling to what resists you. Fear tricks us into believing that we're in control of everything. But control is an illusion. What's truly real, love, peace, truth, can't be manipulated or rushed. They unfold, they emerge, they appear when we are still, open, and willing to receive without grasping. When we operate from fear, we live in a tight, contracted energy. We send out vibrations that say, I don't believe it will happen unless I force it. And the universe responds not to what we say, but to how we feel. When you let go of fear and begin to trust, even just a little, your energy shifts. You breathe space. You breathe more easily. You stop clinging and start allowing. Letting go of forcing doesn't mean you give up. It means you stop trying to swim upstream and start flowing with the current. You still show up. You still do the work. But you release the frantic energy that says, it must happen now or else. Imagine the relief of no longer needing to chase what doesn't feel natural. Imagine waking up knowing that what is truly yours cannot pass you by, that you don't need to force people to love you or opportunities to arrive or answers to appear. Everything that belongs to you is already on its way. drawn by your trust, your alignment, your openness. Even as your alignment, you're open. Fear cannot create beauty. It cannot sustain love. It cannot bring peace. But trust can, surrender can, love can. So if you find yourself forcing, pause, take a breath, ask yourself gently, what am I afraid of? Then offer that fear compassion, not judgment. It's just a part of you that wants to feel safe. And you can create that safety not by forcing, but by nurturing, by holding yourself with love instead of pressure. You don't need to earn your worth. You don't need to beg life to bless you. You don't need to fight so hard. There is a softer way. There is a wiser part of you that already knows how to trust. Let that part speak. Let it guide you. When you stop forcing, you begin to receive. When you stop fearing, you begin to live. And when you truly trust, you become free. Trust the timing of your life is a gentle reminder that every moment unfolds exactly as it should, even when the present feels uncertain. In the midst of our daily struggles and anxieties, we often find ourselves desperate for immediate answers, yearning for instant gratification and feeling overwhelmed by the pace of our progress. Yet, beneath the surface of every challenge and setback lies a hidden wisdom, a divine rhythm that orchestrates our lives with precision and care, inviting us to surrender to the natural flow of our existence. When we begin to trust the timing of our life, we allow ourselves to step back from the chaos of constant striving and to embrace a more intuitive, patient approach. Imagine the cycle of the seasons, where each period of growth is followed by rest and renewal. Like nature, our lives have seasons of blossoming and moments of quiet regeneration. Each experience, whether joyful or painful, is part of a larger tapestry that is being woven over time, even when the current thread seems disconnected from our vision. Every twist and turn is essential in creating the full picture of who we are meant to become. There is a profound beauty in realizing that every delay or detour on our journey is not a sign of failure, but rather an integral part of our evolution. Often, our minds compel us to force outcomes, thinking that immediate results will fill a void within us. However, this mindset only leads to exhaustion and disappointment. True fulfillment arises when we release our need for control and trust that the universe is diligently aligning opportunities, people, and experiences for our highest good. Each pause, every period of silence, is an invitation to reflect, to gather strength, and to rediscover our inner power. In moments when we feel life is moving too slowly or when we encounter obstacles that seem insurmountable, it helps to remember that timing is a silent teacher. It teaches us the art of patience and the value of perseverance. Instead of perceiving delays as setbacks, we can see them as the universe's way of preparing us for the next step in our journey. Perhaps there is a lesson we need to learn or an inner resource we must cultivate before we are ready to receive the next blessing. By trusting the natural progression of our life, we free ourselves from the burden of endless anticipation and open our hearts to the beauty of the present moment. Our energy shifts when we embrace the truth that all is unfolding in perfect order. In this state of surrender, we begin to let go of the frantic need to rush towards future milestones and instead gently celebrate the small wins and subtle signs that life is moving exactly as it should. Each moment becomes a precious gem, a step toward a future that unfolds with grace and certainty. In these quiet moments of reflection, we learn to recognize the whisper of our intuition, an inner guide that often speaks softly, urging us to be still and to trust in the process. Imagine a river that flows effortlessly, navigating around obstacles with ease instead of fighting against them. Like that river, our lives are meant to move in harmony with the currents of time. There are times when our personal energy feels aligned with the movement of life, and everything seems to come together naturally, and there are moments when the current appears turbulent, when progress feels stalled and the destination is obscured by mist. In these times, trusting the timing of your life means having faith in the unseen forces at work, knowing that even the most challenging stretches are paving the way for a smoother journey ahead. This trust is not passive. It requires a deep, active commitment to embracing each moment as it comes. It is about finding comfort in the unknown and cultivating the inner strength to allow life to unfold without interference. When you choose to surrender control and to let go of the urge to dictate every outcome, you begin to align with a greater purpose. Each day becomes a canvas for growth, painted with the hues of experienced transformation and tender hope. By trusting the timing of your life, you affirm that every step, every breath is part of a grand design that is both intricate and compassionate. You learn to appreciate the slow and steady unfolding of your journey, understanding that patience is not merely waiting, it is a dynamic, nurturing process of aligning with your highest self. In this space of trust, you release the heavy burden of expectation and open yourself to the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. In the stillness of your heart, you come to know that every moment is exactly as it should be, and that by trusting the flow of life, you honor the natural rhythms that guide you toward a more profound and joyful existence. Trust that in time, what you seek will gracefully reveal itself, wrapped in the tender embrace of destiny and illuminated by the gentle light of your inner wisdom. Let energy flow naturally. These words carry a soft wisdom that speaks directly to the soul. In a world where we're taught to hustle, to push, to always strive for more, we often forget that the greatest breakthroughs, the deepest healing, and the truest joy arise not from force, but from flow. Energy is always moving. It is the invisible thread that weaves through our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, and our relationships. When we are aligned, when we feel safe, loved, and present, our energy flows freely. We feel light, inspired, and connected. But when we resist what is, when we try to control outcomes or hold on to pain, we block that natural current. We tense up. We create friction. We get stuck. Trying to control life is like trying to hold back a river with your hands. The more you push against it, the more exhausted you become. But when you let go and allow yourself to float, the river carries you. This is what it means to let energy flow naturally, to trust that you are being carried, to stop swimming upstream, and to relax into the movement that life is already offering you. So many of us have been conditioned to believe that unless we are constantly doing, we are falling behind. But presence is a kind of doing. Rest is a kind of progress. Surrender is a kind of strength. When you stop trying to force your path and instead become a vessel for flow, you align yourself with wisdom far greater than your own. You stop trying to make life happen and start allowing life to unfold through you. When energy flows naturally, everything feels more effortless. Ideas come without struggle. Decisions feel clearer. Conversations deepen. Even healing becomes softer. You begin to notice synchronicities, gentle nudges from the universe, reminding you that you are on the right path. Not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. Because you trusted that your inner world creates your outer world, and when your energy is open, life responds in kind. Letting energy flow doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities or avoiding effort. It means choosing alignment over resistance. It means paying attention to how things feel rather than just how they look. It means asking yourself, Does this feel expansive or does it feel tight? Because the energy of force is heavy. It drains you, it contracts you. But the energy of flow is light. It energizes you, it opens you. We often hold on to things too tightly, old beliefs, toxic relationships, outdated dreams. Out of fear. Fear tells us that letting go means losing. But in truth, letting go allows energy to move again. It clears the way for something better, something more aligned with who you are becoming. You can't receive with clenched fists. You can't heal while gripping pain. You can't grow while resisting change. Flow is the art of loosening your grip and trusting that life knows what it's doing. There is a quiet intelligence in all things. Just as rivers carve their way through mountains, just as seeds know when to bloom, so too does your life know how to unfold. You are part of that rhythm, and your job is not to force the timing or manipulate the direction, but to stay present, stay grounded, and stay open. Letting energy flow naturally also means honoring your emotional landscape. When sadness comes, let it speak. When joy visits, let it dance. Don't block the current by denying your feelings. Emotions are energy in motion. When you suppress them, they stagnate. When you acknowledge them, they move through you. Nothing stays forever, not pain, not joy. Everything is passing, everything is evolving. This is the beauty of flow. It teaches us to be fluid, to be flexible, to be compassionate with ourselves and with life. It teaches us that peace is not the absence of challenge, but the presence of trust. It reminds us that we are not here to fight the current, but to become one with it. Every breath you take is a reminder of this natural flow. You inhale without forcing, you exhale without gripping. Life breathes through you effortlessly, moment by moment. And when you begin to live in that rhythm, when you let your energy rise and fall without resistance, you tap into a powerful truth. You are already enough. You are already guided. You are already on your way. So let go of the need to rush. Let go of the pressure to perform. Let go of the belief that you must always be doing more. And instead, tune in to the quiet pulse within you, the one that beats in time with the universe. That's where your power is. That's where your peace is. That's where your life begins to move beautifully and naturally in the direction of your deepest joy. Let your energy flow. Let life move through you. And trust that everything is working in your favor, even now, even here, even in this breath. Surrender is often misunderstood. To many, it sounds like giving up, like quitting, like losing. But real surrender isn't about defeat. It's about alignment. It's about choosing peace over control. It's about releasing the weight we were never meant to carry. Surrender is not weakness. It is power. Deep, quiet, unshakable power. In a world that praises hustle, constant action, and pushing through, surrender can feel like a foreign concept. We're taught to fight for what we want, to never stop trying, to make things happen by sheer force. But sometimes the more we push, the further we drift from what's truly meant for us. Sometimes effort turns into resistance. And in those moments, surrender becomes the most powerful thing we can do. To surrender doesn't mean we stop caring or lose our ambition. It means we let go of our attachment to how things must happen. We release the grip of control and open our hands to receive what's in greater alignment. It's the moment we stop fighting reality and start working with it. It's when we stop screaming, "Why isn't it working?" and instead whisper, "Show me a better way." There is profound strength in trusting life, in trusting that there is a wisdom far greater than your current understanding. Surrender means stepping back and allowing space for that wisdom to move. It means acknowledging that you don't have all the answers and that it's okay not to. It's releasing the pressure to figure everything out and instead allowing things to unfold. This doesn't mean we become passive. Surrender isn't sitting back and doing nothing. It's a choice, an intention. It's saying, I've done all I can. Now I release the outcome. And in that release, something magical happens. We shift from stress to stillness, from panic to peace, from fear to trust. When you surrender, you are not losing your power, you're reclaiming it. Because true power doesn't come from control, it comes from connection. When you're connected to your inner self, to your intuition, and to the flow of life, you no longer need to manipulate everything around you. You know that what is meant for you cannot miss you. You begin to trust the timing, the unfolding, and even the pauses. There is strength in not reacting. There is strength in walking away from what no longer serves you. There is strength in silence, in stillness, in trusting that the storm will pass without you needing to control the wind. That's surrender. And it takes far more courage than forcing ever will. We often hold on tightly to things, relationships, outcomes, identities, because we're afraid of what will happen if we let go. But clinging doesn't bring security, it brings suffering. Letting go allows life to breathe again. It creates space for something new, something better, something more aligned to arrive. And yes, surrender can feel scary because it invites the unknown. It asks you to lean into uncertainty and trust in what you cannot see. But that leap of faith is where transformation begins. It's where your deepest strength is awakened, not through control, but through trust. Surrender is also an act of self-love. When you let go of struggle, you're telling yourself, I don't need to suffer to be worthy. I don't need to force what doesn't flow. You honor your well-being. You choose softness over stress. You allow yourself to receive support, guidance, and unexpected blessing. In the stillness of surrender, answers often come, not because you chased them, but because you made space for them. Insight rises in silence. Healing comes when we stop resisting. And what you were trying so hard to fix suddenly begins to shift because you got out of the way. When you surrender, you tap into a power beyond your own. You allow the universe, life, or whatever name you give it to step in and support you. You trust that there's a divine intelligence working behind the scenes, orchestrating everything in your favor, even if it doesn't look that way right now. You were never meant to carry everything alone. You were never meant to solve every problem with your own hands. There is power in saying, I don't know how, but I believe it will happen. I'm letting go now. I'm trusting the flow. So if you're tired, if you've tried everything, if nothing seems to be working, take a breath, step back, release the grip. Surrender doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise enough to know when to stop pushing and when to start trusting. Your greatest breakthroughs won't come from force. They'll come from flow. Your healing, your peace, your abundance, none of it needs to be chased. All of it can be received, and that begins with one simple, powerful choice: to surrender. There is a quiet voice inside of you. It doesn't shout, and it doesn't demand attention. It whispers. It nudges. It gently guides you toward what feels right. This voice is your inner wisdom, and it has always been with you. long before you asked for advice, long before you looked outside yourself for answers. This inner guide already knew what was best for you. Letting your inner wisdom lead means learning to trust that voice again, not the voice of fear or doubt that lives in your mind, but the soft, grounded knowing that resides deep in your heart. It's the voice that tells you to walk away from what no longer feels right, even when your mind is still trying to make sense of it. It's the feeling in your gut that says, "This path is not for me," or "This is exactly where I belong." You were born with this inner guidance. Over time, the noise of the world may have drowned it out. You were taught to listen to others more than yourself. You were conditioned to follow the crowd, to second-guess your instincts, and to believe that other people knew what was best for your life. But deep down, that wise part of you never left. It's still there, waiting for you to tune in. You may not always recognize it at first. It doesn't come with a guarantee or a perfect roadmap, but when you begin to listen, to truly listen, you'll feel a deep sense of peace. Even if the path ahead looks uncertain, your inner wisdom offers clarity. It speaks in feelings, in sensations, in intuition. It doesn't always make logical sense, but it always makes soul sense. Letting your inner wisdom lead is an act of self-trust. It's choosing to believe that you are not lost, that you are not broken, and that you already have everything you need within you. This doesn't mean you won't seek guidance or learn from others, but you'll begin to filter everything through your own truth. You'll stop asking, "What should I do?" and start asking, "What feels right for me?" Sometimes your inner wisdom will guide you away from things that look perfect on paper, but feel wrong in your body. Other times it will lead you toward a path that seems risky or uncertain, but feels deeply aligned. The more you follow it, the more you'll recognize its voice. It's the quiet calm beneath the noise. It's the peace you feel after making a decision that aligns with your truth. You may not always follow it perfectly. That's okay. Every time you ignore it and learn from the experience, your connection to it grows stronger. There's no punishment for taking a detour, only lessons. Your inner wisdom is not harsh or critical. It's patient. It understands that growth takes time. It will always guide you back to your center. The world may try to convince you to follow formulas, timelines, or expectations, but your path is yours alone. No one else has your exact heart, your vision, or your purpose. That's why no one else can truly tell you how to live. Your inner wisdom already knows the way. It will reveal the next step when you're ready. Not everything at once, just the next right step. That's all you need. Letting your inner wisdom lead also means slowing down. You can't hear that inner voice when you're rushing, overthinking, or constantly distracted. Stillness invites clarity. When you take time to breathe, to ground yourself, to be present, you create space for your truth to rise. In that stillness, answers come. Peace comes. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You simply need to get quiet enough to hear your own soul speak. And then trust what it says. Trust that you are guided. Trust that you don't have to chase or force what is meant for you. You only need to stay true to yourself, one choice at a time. As you let your inner wisdom lead, you'll begin to feel more aligned, more confident, and more grounded in your life. You'll begin to trust yourself deeply, not just when things are easy, but especially when they're not. You'll become your own safe place, your own guide, your own source of truth. The more you honor this inner knowing, the more life will begin to open for you. Doors will close that need to, and others will open in their perfect timing. Not because you forced them, but because you followed the quiet, wise voice within you, the one that has always known the way. You are safe to let go. These words are more than just comfort. They are a truth your heart has longed to hear. For so long you've carried the weight of the past, the fear of what might come, and the pressure to hold it all together. You've held on tightly to people, to memories, to pain, to expectations. Not because you wanted to suffer, but because part of you believed it was safer to cling than to release. But now it's time. You don't need to grip so tightly anymore. You don't need to keep rehearsing the same old fears. You don't need to hold on to what's already gone or what was never really yours. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean giving up. It means you're finally allowing yourself to move forward. It means you're choosing peace over pain, freedom over fear, and truth over illusion. You are safe to let go of the version of yourself that had to survive, the one that always had to be strong, the one that kept quiet to keep the peace, the one who believed love had to be earned or begged for. That version did what it needed to do. It protected you when you didn't have the tools to do it differently. But you've outgrown that now. You're not that scared version of yourself anymore. You are wiser, stronger, and far more supported than you realize. Letting go is not a one-time decision. It's a gentle, daily practice. Some days it will feel easy. Other days you'll notice yourself holding on again. That's okay. Healing is not a straight line. It's a spiral. It brings you back to the same places again and again, not to punish you, but to offer deeper understanding each time. With every breath, you can soften. With every choice, you can release a little more. Let go of the idea that you have to be perfect. You are already enough. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to know how everything will unfold. Life is not asking for your perfection. It's asking for your presence. It's asking you to show up, to be honest with yourself, and to choose peace, even when your mind wants to cling to the past. You are safe to let go of old relationships that no longer reflect your truth. Sometimes love teaches us what we need to learn and then asks us to move on. That's not failure, it's growth. You are allowed to walk away from what no longer feels like love, even if it once did. You are allowed to make space for something new, something that meets you where you are now, not where you used to be. You are safe to let go of the story that says you're not enough. That voice is not yours. It was planted by pain, shaped by fear, echoed by others who couldn't see your light. But your worth is not negotiable. It's not conditional. It's not up for debate. You are inherently valuable simply because you exist. You don't have to keep proving it by holding on to things that hurt. Letting go means you stop carrying what isn't yours. You stop taking responsibility for other people's emotions, their choices, their inability to meet you. It's not your job to fix everyone. It's not your role to carry their pain. You are allowed to lay it down now. You are allowed to say, "This is not mine," and walk away in peace. You are safe to release the pressure to know all the answers. Sometimes clarity only comes after we've let go. The mind wants certainty, but the soul longs for trust. When you release control, you invite miracles. You make room for the unknown to surprise you. You make space for what is meant for you to find its way in. Letting go doesn't mean closing your heart. It means opening it wider to truth, to light, to something greater than what you've been clinging to. It means trusting that the universe, God, or life itself has something better planned for you than you've dared to imagine. And that trust begins when you choose to no longer grip the familiar just because it feels safe. You are safe to let go. You are safe to heal. You are safe to change. You are safe to grow. You are safe to rest. You are safe to stop running. You are safe to be soft again. And in letting go, you are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself, not the version shaped by trauma or fear, but the version that is free, aligned, and whole. The version of you that remembers how to breathe deeply, to love fully, to walk lightly,